NPS Now, your source of news and information about Norfolk Public Schools. I'm your host, Karen Tanner. And with me today is Reverend Edward Haywood, pastor of Urban Community Church of Norfolk and one of Norfolk Public Schools school board members. Reverend Haywood, welcome to NPS Now.
Thank you for having me, Ms. Tanner.
Great to have you here. I said you're the pastor of Urban Community Church of Norfolk, and you've been there since 2003 and have served in many ministry capacities. And now you've added school board member to your list of responsibilities. Tell us more about your background and your ministry.
Well, I began ministry right here in Norfolk. I came from Washington, D.C. to attend Norfolk State University. And I became interested in ministry when I was on campus, became involved with the campus ministry, and was a assistant to the chaplain at Norfolk State at that time, the first chaplain of Norfolk State University. And as a result of that experience, I went on to seminary at Capital Bible Seminary in Lanham, Washington. And after graduating from seminary, having been married, I came back to the Norfolk area and was involved in teaching with the Washington Bible College here, and also directing the Eastside Ministerial Association's missions ministry and the former Lafayette Shores, which was at that time the largest low-income community in Norfolk. And so I was involved in that, and also as an assistant pastor at Faith Community, which is also located in Park Place. And so I've been involved in these ministries and several others over a long period of time, and been glad to be able to serve here in the city of Norfolk.
What inspired you to get into ministry?
I think, my inspiration comes from a call from God. My first pastor was Pastor James Drew, a senior pastor at Faith Community from the old school, and he really was a father figure to me, and introduced me to ministry. And out of that, and being involved in the campus ministry at Norfolk State, I came to hear a calling from God about ministry. Now, originally I had not intended to be a pastor. I was thinking of serving as an instructor in seminary or Bible college, and also working in missions ministries and things of that nature. But as I became involved in church ministry, I began to understand that God had gifted me to be able to pastor people, and that is really a calling and a gifting, and I believe that God has blessed me to have that.
You mentioned at Norfolk State you were a chaplain?
I was the assistant to the chaplain, a student assistant to the chaplain. It was the first chaplain, Elward Ellis, who impacted many students on the campus at that time. This was in the 70s.
So you served as chaplain and in some other capacities.
Yes, I worked as a chaplain over at the detention center. And my work there, having come on the school board has pretty much eclipsed my ministry there because of the tremendous involvement I have with the school board. But as I worked in Norfolk Detention Center, a job which I took back in the 1987, and spent 24 years there. 24
minutes?
24 years.
24 years, excuse me.
And I had an opportunity during that time to just work with kids and serve in terms of ministry perspective with the young people, as well as do my job. So I am glad that I worked at Norfolk Detention, because it gave me another dimension in terms of the families that we're working with in Park Place. And it really helped to strengthen and build me, and working with a difficult population.
And so how did you get connected to the Norfolk Detention Center?
Well, when the Lafayette Shores was redeveloped and all of the residents were relocated, my missions ministry ended there. And the city, actually, I was offered a job as a chaplain at the detention center, but they recognized that they couldn't fund that position because of the separation of church and state, of course. So they offered me a job as a counselor, and having prayed about that for some time, I felt that God wanted me to move into that position, and that's how I got there as a counselor in the detention. I'm not the kind of individual that would be a counselor in a detention center. I'm pretty laid back and this kind of a thing. You know, I never fought when I was a kid, except for one time, and then the
How
young.
did they relate to you being there?
Yeah. Well, I found my way, and I learned how to work with the staff, and I learned how to work with the young people there. And that was the blessing. You know, I struggled leaving, you know, after 24 years. I wanted to leave, but at the same time, it was difficult for me to leave, you know, because I had learned to love my friends and working with the kids there.
And you also did some overseas missions and prison ministry, so that kind of segued from working at the
Yes,
detention center.
I've been a senior associate with Great Dads Ministry, and as a result of having worked in Norfolk City jails under the chaplain Houston's ministry there, I became interested in working with those who are incarcerated concerning their fatherhood. I did fatherhood initiatives in the Norfolk detention. I was trained there in fatherhood initiatives, but I also was trained with the Great Dads Ministry, and that ministry has a spiritual perspective to it. It exposes men to their need to be a father to their children. This, of course, if you forgive the pun, is a captive audience, and so I've found that these men, when they're in jail, become very interested in their role as a father. And so this is a time in which they can begin to reflect and make commitments to and learning how to be fathers. They never had fathers, and so this is such an important ministry. And so we have an opportunity to do this in jails and prisons and also in various churches and military bases. I do this with Dr. George Harvey, who is the founder of Covenant Counseling. And so George and I have been doing this now for about 6 years, 7 years.
So this diverse background that you have has pretty much prepared you to come on the school board.
Yes, and of course I raised 4 children and brought them through Norfolk Public Schools and served as a PTA president and Willard Model School. And so coming to the school board, having seen children in a lot of perspectives, it helps me in my service here, yes.
So what other unique qualities do you think you bring to the school board?
Well, coming as a pastor to the school board helps me to, I come as a servant, and I hope to be a servant leader. And so while I'm on the school board helping to set policy for the school board, and of course I come with a prayerful emphasis because the decisions that we're making are such consequence that we want to make the right decision. There's so many things to consider. So we set this policy, but also at the other end, I'm serving to mentor kids. I mentor 6 kids at Monroe, and I'm hoping to do the tutoring at Lindenwood, so I can just go into schools and serve. And so the perspective I'm bringing is a spiritual perspective as well, because I believe that in order to educate a child, you have to educate the whole child. And so whenever I'm asked to speak, I try to bring that emphasis not only in the importance of excellent education, but also in the need to understand spiritually where you are in this world.
What's the most rewarding part of being on the school board for you?
I think that meeting some of the excellent people that we see, principals and teachers, just outstanding people, and the tremendous passion that they have, and being able to assist them, being able to listen and learn and to serve. We're making critical decisions. I'm glad to be a part of that. And I never knew that school board members had to be so involved as they are. I work with a team of school board members who relate well together and get along well together, and make tremendous sacrifices to do what they do. We have tremendous leaders. Dr. King is an outstanding superintendent, and Dr. Houston has been called as a chairman of the school board. So it's been a blessing to me to work alongside of all of these excellent people. I'm learning, and I hope to be able to serve in a way that will be a blessing to the citizens of Norfolk.
Right.
Yeah.
I've asked every board member that's coming on the show, what advice would you share with someone interested in becoming a school board member?
I think the most important thing for anyone who's interested in becoming a school board member is simply to serve the schools now, to volunteer with the schools now, to become involved with the advocacy of the schools. There are excellent organizations out there, such as Gangs, that advocates for Norfolk Public Schools. Know the issues, but more importantly, be in the building, volunteer, and that will prepare you for, I don't know if you can prepare to be a school board member, but that's the closest thing to being prepared to become a school board member.
Yeah.
Yes.
This has been very interesting to me and fascinating to meet you up close and personal and learn your background and see how you've really been involved with Norfolk Schools for a very long time.
Yes.
And that you're such an advocate for our students and our non-traditional students at that.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Reverend Haywood, for joining us here today on NPS Now.
Thank you for having me, Ms. Tanner.
Great to have you here. And we want you to stay tuned to NPS Now for Sports, featuring Steve Submiller.
Welcome back to NPS Now. I'm Steve Submiller, Senior Coordinator of Athletics. I'm at Lake Taylor High School for a Conference 17 matchup between Booker T. Washington High School and Lake Taylor. But before we get to this matchup, let's take a look at this big matchup in Conference 9 with the Maury girls and Princess Anne girls.
Two of the top teams in the area met in an anticipated showdown at Maury High School. Lady Commodores came out fast as Keyshawn Sutton hit Tiffany Daniels with the pass for the deuce. Off the pass from Gigi Smith, Jada Lucky is spot on for the three. Playing without starting guard Shanette Hicks, Maury gave last year's state finalist all he could handle. Again, Smith with the penetration, and Brianna Charles puts it off the window for two. Another long-range three by Lucky put Maury up by one after 3 quarters, and the crowd was smelling a victory. Kayla Aragi kept the pressure with this short jumper, but Maury came up a little bit short on this night, losing a tough one. District rivals Lake Taylor and Booker T took it to the hardwood for this Conference 17 affair. Lake Taylor's Darnell Jenkins drives hard to the hole, and Stanley Christian's there for the putback. Back the other way, Joseph Battle uses a lot of the glass for the and one. Freshman Jeremiah Jenkins shows the range as he hits the long three ball. Senior guard Trayvon Lockhart answers with a three of his own. Near the end of the first half, Stephen Whitley, aka the Diesel, shows his versatility here with the field goal. Booker T was up 12 at half and held off a couple of Lake Taylor rallies in the second. Booker T. Washington wins it, 48-38. Wrestling at Maury High School as the Commodores hosted Norview, as well as Virginia Beach Schools Green Run and Princess Anne. Maury got a split, defeating Green Run while losing to Princess Anne. Among the winners for the Commodores, David Yope, Marcel Baines, Adam Porter, Montez Smith, and Jordan Flood. The Pilots also earned a split, defeating Green Run while losing to PA. Victorious for Norview included Joshua Cuffey, Samson Souser, Joshua Munden, Breon Colden Toppin, and Keontae Davis. Here are the results.
Conference play is underway. For all your game summaries and scores, check out your Big Team website. More NPS Now after this.
Welcome back to NPS Now. With me now today is Dr. Linda McClooney, former school board member, and Dr. Gloria Higgins, former executive director for elementary schools. Welcome, ladies, to NPS Now.
Thank you. Thank you.
Glad to have you guys today. You bring the excitement because we're getting ready to come up with our tie awards for the Norfolk Education Foundation. So tell me, why did the two of you choose to be a part of the Norfolk Education Foundation?
Well, for me, it was a no-brainer. It was a perfect fit. When Carlos approached me right after I think it may have been before I actually retired that year, he talked about the work that was being done by the Norfolk Education Foundation, and it was a perfect fit for my commitment to Norfolk Public Schools, having been a part of the system, my career, that spanned it was 40 years, yes,
Yeah, but you didn't want
as
to
a
say
teacher,
14.
as a teacher and administrator, and also the fact that being involved at the central office level with schools and with teachers and with principals, I really realized the need for community involvement.
So you had a personal connection from your
Absolutely,
experience.
absolutely. So it was a perfect fit for me.
How about you, Dr. McClooney?
Very similar. When Carlos approached me, it was definitely a perfect fit. I am a former student, graduate of Booker T. Washington High School.
So am I.
Oh, two Bookers in the house.
Yes. And I formerly also taught in Norfolk Public Schools,
What schools did you teach at?
Ruffner Junior High School and Norview.
Oh, I had
Yes.
students attend Ruffner and one at Norview, and two at Booker T.
Okay.
Wonderful.
So at all my family members, my sisters and my brother, my mother, all graduates of Norfolk Public Schools.
Wow.
So it was a perfect fit once I finished my term on the school board.
So tell me a little bit about what you think you can do to make the Norfolk Education Foundation really thrive and raise money for its initiatives.
I think first of all, it's making sure that the community, because we are a community stakeholders organization committed to assisting Norfolk Public Schools with its priorities in our fundraising efforts that support several really very meaningful and productive efforts. We're talking about the tie awards, which is our major fundraiser for the year. And I hope we get a little bit more into the details of that, because this is going to be a really exciting year. This is a
we definitely
wow
are
year
going to.
for the tie awards. But as a foundation, we have the opportunity to make those relationships, make those connections with the community groups, and sharing with them what it is that we do and the importance of supporting our young people, because I'm a believer it takes a village.
Right.
It takes an entire community.
Yeah. We'll go ahead and talk about the tie awards
Okay.
now. Tell me, what is that night? What's going to happen that night?
Like I said, it's going to be a wow event. We bill it as our latest and greatest. If you've had the opportunity to look at the website, we have a silent auction piece of it, which, it's like none other we've had up to this point. There's a variety of opportunities for bidding, from a day at the spa. We have some $10, $25 bid items, all the way up to looking at, for me, some bucket list items. So, I mean, cruises, trips to, we have, I guess the most expensive piece that we have there is a trip to Australia and New Zealand.
Wow.
Yes,
So you're
there's a
bidding for
bucket
that, right?
list.
Oh, yes, of course.
Oh, yeah. But the variety of items that are there, we have some those authenticated special memorabilia that's exciting this year. For example, I
Miss
know
Chrissy,
you
you wanna
have
tell us
one
what
that
it is?
you have one that you want to bid on.
Oh,
we
yes.
know right away.
Muhammad Ali's boxing gloves.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Wow. What are some other things they have out there?
Oh, we have the boxing gloves. We have
Sheet
music.
of some of our popular folk. We have autographed electric guitars.
And posters from all the different famous
Sheet music.
songwriters.
So we don't have to
Music.
wait till the night
You
of
do
the
not have
auction
to wait.
bid.
It's
Share the
online.
process of what you can do now to start bidding on these items.
You know, I think the whole thing, the Tie Awards is giving the community, everyone, an opportunity to step in and say, I am committed to Norfolk Public Schools. I'm behind you. I believe in what you are doing. So therefore, we have a variety of events that will make everyone feel comfortable that I can take part, even with the online bidding. As my sister here said, we have enough activities, projects, trips, memorabilia that everyone can take part in.
So it's something for everyone.
Covering the
Yes,
gamut.
yes.
So the web
From-
address, say someone's watching the show, what's the web address? Is it www.norfolkedfound.org?
Yeah, if
Yeah.
you go to the
Yes.
I think
foundation
that's what it is.
website,
Okay,
and
yeah.
then you can get a
starts-
link
yeah,
right
and
into
you get a
it.
link
you
that
get a
takes you to the
link,
silent
and we
auction.
have over 100 items there.
items.
Yes.
Yes.
From one end of the spectrum to the other. I mean, covering the entertainment, covering travel, covering a day at the spa, from baskets that have been donated by our community
good.
groups who want to be involved. I mean, it's all about, it really is all about helping our kids and helping them realize their dreams and dreaming big dreams.
Now, when and where is this event going to take place?
At the Marriott.
At the Marriott.
What day?
Waterside Marriott
Marriott.
on January the 23rd, which is next Thursday.
Oh, okay.
The silent auction begins at 5:30, and you just got to be there. You know, we invite you to not only look at the items on the website, but to come out and actually be a part of the silent auction on site there. There'll be a special section set aside for those. And it starts at 5:30 with the auction, and then we will go into the dinner program starting at 6:30.
Now, I've been to this event before, I think a couple of years, and we have some outstanding performances.
Absolutely. We're showcasing our students.
That's
We're
the big piece.
illuminating our future. We have such talented students within the schools, and we have a variety of schools in which we have students participating. Our MCs will be two of our students from Booker T. Washington, the Performing Arts School. I believe you may know one of those
I think I do.
MCs. You
I
think?
think I'm familiar
You
with
think
one of
you
them.
know one of
That's
them?
it.
I might just.
And of course, with all the talents we have, with all our students performing,
Yes.
that will actually make everyone feel so comfortable and so proud
Yes.
of our students.
I'm going to give the web
We're
address
illuminating
again
them.
because the folks watching, I want them to be able to, while we're talking, or when we finish the show, them to go look at www.norfolkedfound.org, and then they can sign up to even come to the dinner.
Absolutely.
You can register
Yeah,
for the
yes.
dinner. You can see
Ticket
the
for
full
this-
details.
Yes.
And I believe you said the theme,
Yes, illuminating our future.
illuminating our future.
We're illuminating our students. And again, as mentioned, I mean, we have several of our students who will be sharing their talents that evening.
I think are the Strolling Strings
The Strolling
performing?
Strings, we have a drum line
line.
from Booker T. Washington, We have groups
came-
from Maury High School, Lake Taylor High School, and our Taylor Elementary students.
Wow.
So we have a really excellent representation
array of
our
entertainment for the night.
and our talented students. That's who we're showcasing.
And we're showcasing our honor guards from
yeah.
from our military, from our high school. So it's very important that the community actually go out online and look at all the companies, the business, the schools that are participating.
bid.
And bid.
Bid.
Right.
You'll find
We
something
need you
there.
to bid.
But
And
you
when
know-
they bid, I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
when they bid, do they know that the monies that they're donating or
They
bidding on these
they
items is coming
go
back to the foundation to do what?
Work for the students. We support the priorities for Norfolk Public Schools. One of the areas that has received a great deal of, really excitement and support is that we do Seeds for Success, in which teachers can apply for many grants, in which I believe at this point we have awarded about $250,000 in mini grants
That's a
to
lot.
our teachers who are able to use that money to be creative, to do some things that may not be supported within their regular budget for the year.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that's important. And so
Absolutely.
also you have some upcoming events. Share that with us real quick.
Well, one of them is the golfing tournament. And we know in this area that should be a big event. And that also is online. You can sign up now to participate. And we're looking for all the companies, the businesses.
It sold out last
the
year, right?
families, yes.
It was very popular, and we
Very
expect it to
popular.
be even more. It's coming in June 18th.
Okay.
So you can go online and see that and start the process. And we also have Principal for a Day.
Okay, that's around the corner.
coming up next month, February the 12th. And for those of you who want to see and talk about what really happens in a school for the day, you get a chance to actually follow a principal, get to meet teachers and students. It's a wonderful experience for those who've taken part of that. And the way we know it is because they come back. They want to come back, and do it again at other schools. So we really encourage that. But one other thing with the gala that we did not mean to not highlight is the fact that we will be recognizing our A+ community partners.
Right.
We talk about the importance of this collaboration with community. So those A+ community partners who help make and they committed to our schools, we will be recognizing several of those.
And we're recognizing them on different levels.
At
like
different
a
levels. There are about
rookie,
6
mentor,
different
yes.
levels. Mentoring, tutoring, and the summa cum laude, which
yes.
is the biggie. Yeah.
And see, and that's important, and that drives home the point with you saying the community coming in and being involved, not just with your time, but your talents and your
Yes,
treasures.
absolutely.
Giving back to Norfolk
And
Public
it's
Schools.
key, when people come to this event, they will see and hear, and hopefully this will stimulate more companies, more people, more businesses, and even more people in our schools to make that commitment.
And the two of you have been two great ambassadors for the foundation.
And that's a part of what we're all about, too, is the importance of serving as ambassadors and getting the word out.
Well, I think you
so that
guys
we
have
get
done a great
involvement.
job today getting the word out.
It's
I'll
been
be there.
great. It's
and
been
I hope they go to
wonderful.
the website and sign up
Well, we
for the
expect to
silent
see-
auction,
we expect to see everybody there.
Yes.
norfolkedfoundation.org.
And it's
So we're
not
gonna
too
get that
late.
right.
It's not too late to go and sign up.
But the
and
bidding stops at
attend.
8 o'clock.
Yes.
Great. Thank you, too, for coming. You bring so much energy and excitement, and like I said, you're great ambassadors for the foundation. So thank you for joining us
It's been
today.
our pleasure. Thanks for inviting
It's been
us.
wonderful
Yes.
talking with you,
Yes.
Karen.
Thank you.
And thank you for the invite.
Yes.
Great. And we want to thank you for watching NPS Now today. It airs weekly on WNPS Channel 47, or you can watch us online at www.npsk12.com. Again, thank you for watching NPS Now.